When I was a child, I thought adults had all the answers. I really did. I thought the moment you became a real adult, something magical happened. You'd suddenly know how to fix things, how to handle life, how to be confident and certain about everything. I remember sitting in the back seat of my mom's car, watching her hands on the steering wheel. She looked so sure, so calm. She knew exactly where we were going, exactly when to turn. She'd answer my endless questions with this authority that made me think she knew everything. "Mom, why is the sky blue?" she'd explain. "Mom, where do we go when we die?" She'd have an answer. The way she said things made it sound like she'd figured it all out. My dad was the same way. He'd fix things around the house with this quiet competence that seemed almost supernatural. A broken drawer? Fixed in minutes. A weird noise in the car? He'd know exactly what was wrong. I thought that's just what happened when you grew up. You absorbed all this knowledge, all this confidence, and you became this stable person who knew how to handle everything. I couldn't wait to be that person. I remember being 10 years old, lying in bed worrying about silly things. A test at school, whether my friends liked me, something embarrassing I'd said. And I'd think, when I'm older, I won't worry about stuff like this. Adults have real problems, but they know how to handle them. I built this entire image of what adulthood would be. I'd have my life figured out. I'd know what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. I'd be confident, capable, sure of myself. And then I grew up. The first crack came during college. I was 19, trying to figure out what to major in. I realized I had no idea. I'd thought by this age I'd just know, that some inner compass would point me in the right direction. But I didn't. I was just guessing, hoping it would work out. I called my mom that night. "How did you know what you wanted to do with your life?" There was this long pause. Then she laughed, this soft, slightly sad laugh. "Honey, I'm still figuring that out." I didn't know what to do with that answer. The real moment, though, was a few years later. I was 23, at my first real job, sitting in a meeting with people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. People who seemed so professional, so put together. And they were debating something, disagreeing, and I suddenly realized they were guessing too. They had more experience, sure, but they didn't know for certain. They were making educated guesses, hoping for the best. One guy, probably mid-40s, admitted he'd never done this particular thing before and was nervous. Everyone nodded sympathetically, like it was normal, like it was okay to not know. I sat there thinking, wait, you're supposed to have this figured out by now. But they didn't. Nobody did. I went home that night feeling cheated, disappointed, scared, because if these people, these grown adults with careers and mortgages and kids, if they didn't have all the answers, then what was I supposed to do? I started paying closer attention. I watched my parents, really watched them, as an adult rather than a child. And I saw the uncertainty. My dad would stare at a broken appliance and quietly Google how to fix it. My mom would call her sister, stressed and confused, asking for advice because she didn't know what to do. They'd been doing that the whole time. I just hadn't noticed. I remember the day I realized my parents didn't know if they'd made the right choices in life. We were having dinner, and my dad mentioned something about his career, about a path he didn't take. There was this wistfulness in his voice, this question mark. He was in his 50s, and he still wondered about the roads not traveled. That shook me, because if he didn't know, after all these years, if he'd done it right, then there was no right. There was just living, and choosing, and hoping. I'm 30 now, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that I do not have all the answers. I still don't know how to talk to my boss without occasionally feeling like a kid playing dress-up. I still Google basic household tasks. I still lie awake worrying about things, wondering if I'm making the right choices, if I'm doing okay, if I'm a real adult yet. I've slowly realized that nobody feels like a real adult. We're all just trying our best, making it up as we go, learning from our mistakes, hoping we don't mess things up too badly. My friend told me recently that she's been waiting her whole life to feel like a grown-up. She's 35 with 2 kids and a mortgage, and it still hasn't happened. She still feels like she's pretending, like someone's going to figure out she doesn't know what she's doing. I laughed when she said that, because I feel the exact same way. I think we all do. The hardest part isn't the not knowing, it's the loneliness of it. When you're a kid, you think you're the only one who's confused, and you can't wait to join the adults who have it figured out. Then you become an adult, and you're still confused. But now you think you're the only adult who's confused. Everyone else seems so sure. So you fake it, you pretend, and everyone around you is doing the exact same thing. It's exhausting. But here's what I've learned. Here's the thing my child self couldn't understand. Not having all the answers isn't a failure. It's just the human condition. Because life is complicated and messy and constantly changing. And there are no instruction manuals, no cheat codes, no secret knowledge that gets downloaded into your brain at any age. There's just experience and compassion and the willingness to admit when you don't know something, to ask for help, to learn, to try again. The bravest thing my parents ever did wasn't having all the answers. It was making decisions anyway. It was choosing, even when they weren't sure. It was showing up every day and doing their best with what they had, and being kind to themselves when they got it wrong. That's what I'm trying to learn now. To be gentle with myself. To accept that uncertainty is okay. That I can make choices without being completely sure. That I can try things, fail, and try again. That asking for help doesn't mean I've failed at being an adult. I think about my younger self sometimes, that 10-year-old lying in bed, so certain that growing up meant having all the answers. And I want to tell her, it's okay, you don't need to know everything. The uncertainty doesn't go away, but you learn to live with it. You learn that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. You learn that everyone is just as lost as you are, and there's something beautiful in that. Something connecting. We're all in this together, all stumbling through life, trying to figure it out, helping each other when we can. Your parents didn't have everything figured out. They were scared sometimes too, uncertain, lost, but they loved you, and that love gave them courage to keep going, to keep trying, to keep showing up. And maybe that's the real answer. Not certainty, not knowledge, not having it all figured out. Just love, just courage, just the willingness to keep going, to keep being human in all its messy, uncertain, beautiful complexity. I still don't have all the answers. I probably never will. But I'm learning to be okay with that. The questions are part of the journey. Admitting I don't know isn't weakness, it's honesty, it's humanity. And maybe that's enough. Maybe we're all enough, just as we are, uncertainty and all. If this reminded you of something, if you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. We're all figuring it out together, one uncertain step at a time. And that's beautiful.